The merchant of Onitsha. Onitsha Main Market never slept. From the first crow of the rooster until late into the night, voices rose like the buzzing of countless bees. Traders called out prices, bargaining with hands as much as with tongues. The scent of roasted corn and hot akara floated in the air, mixing with the pungent smell of leather, palm oil, and ground spices. The market was a living river, flowing with people, stories, and dreams. In the very heart of that river stood Odogwu, a man whose name rang like the beat of a talking drum across Onitsha. His stalls overflowed with imported fabrics, radios, enamel plates, and motor spare parts. Apprentices, boys brought from villages across Anambra, scurried at his command, carrying loads, attending to customers, and learning the trade. People respected Odogwu, but they also envied him. He was tall, broad-shouldered, and carried himself with the pride of one who believed that money alone commanded honor. Among his many apprentices was Chike, the oldest. Chike was not loud, neither did he waste words. His loyalty was firm, and his diligence made him a pillar in Odogwu's business. Yet even in his silence, he watched and learned. He saw how his master, despite his success, wasted his strength on pleasures that bore no fruit. At night, when the stalls were closed and lanterns dimmed, Odogwu often wandered to bars along Upper Iweka. There, women gathered around him, clapping at his jokes, praising his deep pockets, and drinking the liquor he paid for. To the world, he was enjoying life. But to the eyes of the wise, he was scattering seeds on barren land. In contrast was Amarachi, the young woman who loved him deeply. Amarachi was a university student, decent and reserved. Her beauty was quiet, it shone in her kindness, in the way she smiled gently, in her soft eyes filled with dreams of tomorrow. She ignored the market gossip about Odogwu's reckless living. Each time she returned from school, she visited his shop, carrying food she had cooked, asking about his apprentices, and listening with patience. Her love was steadfast, and her hope for marriage with Odogwu was strong. She believed in him even when he did not believe in himself. Chike noticed. He watched Amarachi's devotion and shook his head in silence. Respect kept him from speaking against his master, but his heart was troubled. Sometimes, in the evenings, as he taught the younger boys how to count money or arrange goods, he would whisper a proverb, hoping they would understand. A man with 10 yams in his barn who refuses to plant one will meet hunger tomorrow. The boys would nod, though their young minds only half grasped his meaning. But Chike knew the truth. Odogwu had wealth in his hands and love at his door, yet pride and recklessness blinded him from planting what could grow into a future. And so the story of the merchant of Onitsha began, where wealth wrestled with wisdom, and destiny waited for the one who would value it. Amarachi's descent path. At Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Amarachi shone like a calm river in the midst of restless waves. She lived in the women's hostel, a place that echoed with laughter, gossip, and the shuffle of slippers in narrow corridors. Many of the girls around her enjoyed the glitter of campus life, weekend parties in Oka, late-night outings, and rich men who visited with cars and promises. But Amarachi walked a different path. She kept her corner neat, her books well arranged, her Bible by her bedside. Her friends admired her beauty, but they often wondered why she lived so quietly. Whenever the chatter about men rose high in the evenings, Amarachi would sit by her table, trading colorful beads, her mind far away in Onitsha. One evening, her closest friend Ifeoma leaned against the bunk bed and laughed. "Amora, are you blind? Your man is in Onitsha enjoying himself like a butterfly, flying from flower to flower. Don't you hear stories of how he spends money on women?" Amarachi smiled faintly, though her heart trembled. "I know what I have seen in him," she replied softly. "A man may wander, but he returns home at last. He may dance around the flowers, but in the end, he will seek the one who knows how to cook yam porridge with palm oil the way he likes." The room burst into laughter. Ifeoma shook her head. "You and this your fate will end in tears." Open your eyes before it is too late. But Amarachi's hope was like a stubborn flame. She pressed her lips together, hiding the shadow of doubt that sometimes clouded her eyes. To her, Odogwu was not just a man in the market, he was the future she had already pictured. While her friends went out dressed in borrowed perfumes and borrowed dreams, Amarachi stayed behind. She sold handmade bead necklaces to support her school fees, waking early to catch buyers at the school gate before lectures began. Many nights, she bent over candlelight, finishing assignments and whispering prayers. Odogwu's chats came to her phone, but they were short, careless words sent without thought. "How are you? Take care." Sometimes days passed without a single message. Amarachi, however, wrote back long letters, full of love, full of dreams, full of loyalty. She told him about her classes, her exams, her struggles. She told him how she prayed for him. Far away in Onitsha, Odogwu lived another life. He poured money like water, buying drinks for friends who hailed him as Odogwu Nwok. Women gathered around his table, laughing at his jokes and enjoying his recklessness. To him, life was sweet palm wine meant to be poured generously, not stored for tomorrow. But Amarachi did not see those nights. She saw only the man she had chosen. She held on to the belief that love, like a kola nut, may taste bitter at first but ends with sweetness if chewed with patience. And so, in her small corner of the university, Amarachi lived decently, waiting for the day her degree and her love would join hands, not knowing that fate was already writing another story.